Hey guys! So it's Monday and today was my last day in Germany. I got to sleep in a little bit today. We had a really nice breakfast and then after breakfast I got to pack up everything. It didn't even take me that long. All I had was my carry-on and my backpack, and obviously I didn't bring too much stuff with me anyways. At around 1:30, 2 o'clock, we officially left Carbon and we left their house. My flight didn't leave until 6:40 tonight, and so they wanted to actually do something with me because we still had the afternoon to do something. So we drove into Frankfurt and we went to a film museum. The film museum was actually really cool, but we went into a specific exhibit and this exhibit was amazing. So the exhibit was called The Red Room, and it basically talked about the importance of the color red in movies and in media. It was really good insight on my major because I'm a media studies major, and I never really thought about how the importance of color is in certain movies and like how color affects that. That was really interesting, and then we pretty much got through the exhibit in about a little over an hour. We just kind of relaxed there until it was time for us to leave to go to the airport. So then they took me to the airport and we said our final goodbyes, and I got on my flight and came all the way home. So I'm back in London now, and I didn't have any troubles with my flight and the transportation back home. I just got back about an hour ago at 9:30, and it didn't even take me that long. I'm actually glad that I got home at like 9:30 because I was able to unpack and actually get some things done that I needed to get done before tomorrow. So it's just been kind of a relaxing night tonight, just getting things done and unwinding from Germany. I gotta focus on school now because I've got exams and so much homework to do for the next 2 days. So it's gonna be pretty stressful. And that's it of today, and that's it of my trip to Germany. And that's the end of day 81. Hey guys! So it's Tuesday, and today I obviously had my one and only class that I usually have on Tuesdays, parapsychology and pseudoscience, but today was actually the last class, and our last class ended up being our final, so it wasn't really too interesting. I mean, the final was actually a little harder than I was expecting because it was mostly on the readings that we had to do rather than the actual presentations that everybody was giving throughout this whole semester. Like, it was a little more difficult than I was expecting, but I did pretty well on it, so, because he graded them really fast. And so after that, obviously I had a free day today, but I had a lot of homework to do, and even though it was my last class of parapsychology and pseudoscience, I still had a paper to do for that class, which I'm pretty sure I mentioned in one of my other vlogs when I was in Germany. I was working on a paper. Yeah, so I got that finished, and then I also had a paper to do for BLC. It was like our final paper to do, and basically you just had to relate some of the lectures to your major, which was actually pretty interesting for me. I actually kind of had fun writing this paper because I didn't understand how many lectures actually related back to my major, and my major is media studies, so I thought it was really interesting. The one surprising thing about this is that these two papers I finished in 4 hours. I don't know how the heck I managed to do that because it usually takes me so long to write a paper. I mean, these papers are pretty much about like 2-3 pages, so it wasn't like too bad, but I was still surprised in myself because I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to writing. Like, I need to look it over so many times before I actually send it in. I'm just like that kind of person. So then after I got those papers done, I took a nap and I did a little bit of relaxing because I could have used a break from those papers. I actually wrote the papers like back to back, so literally once I got done with the research paper for parapsychology and pseudoscience, I immediately went into my BLC paper. So I took a big long break after that, and then tonight AIFS had actually set up another event for us, and it was a comedy performance at the Comedy Store. The Comedy Store is pretty much like the venue of where it's at. Basically, they host a lot of different comedy events, but Tuesday nights are usually reserved for one of their comedy teams who are called The Cutting Edge. There's about 5 people in the team. Throughout the performance, Each person did a few stand-up jokes and stuff, and then they all did a few games as well. They were great overall, and so I would definitely check them out if you can. I mean, it's British comedy. So I just got back from that, and it's about 11 o'clock right now, and I'm ready for bed because I've got my last day of classes tomorrow, and I've pretty much got a full day. That's pretty much it of today, and that's it of day 82. Hey guys! So today was actually a very bittersweet day. Today was the last day of classes. Actually, it was technically the last day of classes for me because there are still classes going on tomorrow, but all of my classes are done. And I feel so relieved because I have had so much homework to do over the last few days that it's just so nice to finally have everything done. Well, I don't have everything done. I still have my play to finish for playwriting, but I'm planning on doing that tomorrow, and I'm not super worried about it. I'm not super stressed about it anymore, but I pretty much have everything else done, and it just feels so good. Today I had BLC, and today in BLC we didn't have a lecture or anything. The first half of class we did trivia. So we all split into teams, and then my instructor asked us 25 questions, and obviously we all had to answer them, and then whoever won got a few prizes. My team actually won, so that was awesome. But the prizes weren't that great. There was a jar of Marmite, a can of soda, a bag of Haribo gummies, and a little notebook diary kind of thing with London written on it. So yeah, so the prizes weren't all that great, but I mean, hey, we won, so that's something. And then for the second half of class, we watched a British television show called Gogglebox. The show is revolved around British people watching British TV shows. So we are watching British people watching British TV shows, which is kind of interesting. And a lot of the comments that they made were really hilarious. So yeah, go check out Gogglebox, it's actually pretty cool. That was pretty much it of BLC, so it was a nice relaxing BLC today. And then after that, I had playwriting. Unfortunately, my instructor is ill today, but his wife took over. And it's not like we were gonna cancel class again because it was the last class and we only had one more person to go to read their play for the last time. And all of us in playwriting have learned quite a lot over this past semester, so we were able to help her out and give her feedback on her play, so that was really awesome. And then I had acting Shakespeare, and we did a lot in acting Shakespeare. We performed our scene again, we performed our monologues, and we also had individual meetings with her. So it was a packed day in acting Shakespeare, and I was actually stressed out for this class today because we were doing so much. I mean, I have learned a lot in acting Shakespeare, and I'm so glad that I took this class. And then AIFS had also set up a farewell dinner for us tonight, but that didn't start until 7. But then we got out of acting Shakespeare at 6, so there was no point in going back home. So I walked with my friend Sarah to the Russell Square Gardens, and we just kind of hung out and talked there for a little bit before we decided to go to the farewell dinner at a restaurant. And so the restaurant that we were at for the farewell dinner is called the Roadhouse, but literally we could not find the restaurant at all. We were literally walking around the area. It's in Covent Garden, and it's actually right next to the London Transport Museum, but we literally could not find it. We were walking around for half an hour trying to find it. And so we finally did, only because they were starting to set out their signs and everything. It was like 7:30 by the time they started actually setting out their signs. They opened up at 5:30, but they didn't start setting up until like 7:30. So yeah, it was kind of crazy because we couldn't even find it. I was obviously with my friend Sarah, and then I was also with Corinne and Maggie, 2 other people who I have had the honor of meeting on this trip. We all had a good time. We only stayed for about like not even 2 hours. So we just kind of had some dinner and some drinks. To be quite honest, not many people actually showed up. So I just got back home about an hour ago, and I'm doing a few little things and catching up on stuff here and there. So yeah, so it's pretty much a relaxing night. That's it of today, and that's it of day 83. Hey guys! So today is Thursday, and today is a very bittersweet day. Today was my last day in London. It is really sad for me, but it's also bittersweet, and I just have so many emotions going through me right now. So of course all of my classes ended yesterday, so I didn't have any classes today. But I did have one more homework to finish up. I had to finish up my play for playwriting. And so that's what I did earlier this morning, just so that I could get it done and over with, so I could have the rest of the day to do the final things that I wanted to do. So yeah, so I actually went over to Priory Park to finish up my play, and Priory Park is literally in our backyard, but I have never been to that park yet. Don't ask me why. And then once that was done, I had to go back on campus because there were a few things that I needed to do yet there. One of the things I had to do was buy some merchandise from the student store. I've been wanting a sweatshirt or a hat or something that says the University of London on it, and I have had all semester to do it, but for some odd reason I've just never done that. I don't know why. So I have this really nice sweatshirt that says the University of London on it, so I'm happy. And then I also had to get rid of some of my books today. I had some books for my parapsychology and pseudoscience class, but I really don't need them anymore, and I don't want to take them back home with me. So I was trying to find some place to donate them, and if you remember, I've mentioned this a couple of times, there is a bookstore right across the street from the Student Central, but unfortunately they don't take donations. Well, they do, but it just depends on the type of book that you're trying to sell. The ones that I was trying to donate, they didn't want. So then I went to the AIFS office to see if they had any recommendations for where to go to donate my books, and they gave me a location of a place. But then they also told me, after they had printed out the directions to the place, that I could donate the books to the office for other students to read. And I was like, okay, you couldn't have told me that before. But I still went to the place that they had directed me to, and I actually got money back for the books that I donated. So, hey, I wouldn't have gotten that if I just donated them to the office. So then after that was taken care of, I was finally free of the things that I needed to do. It was probably around like 2 o'clock. I wanted to go back to a few places in London just for one last look. So the first place I went to was Trafalgar Square. And I was at Trafalgar Square on St. Patrick's Day, but of course, a few things were blocked off, there were a lot of stands everywhere, they had everything decorated for St. Patrick's Day, and of course there were a lot of people there. So I didn't see it in its natural state, so to speak. So today I went back there just to see what it was like in its natural state. It's very pretty, a lot of the fountains were really cool. And then after that, I walked back to the river. I also like going to the river because you just get so many different views. So when you're looking in one direction, you actually like see the London Eye and Big Ben. And then when you're looking in another direction, you see the Shard and St. Paul's Cathedral. So it's like no matter which way you look, you get a different view every time. And it's pretty amazing. And especially with all the bridges that are around, you know, all the bridges are like spectacular in their own ways. So it's a pretty amazing view from the river. And I actually put in my headphones and I was listening to some of my favorite songs. And I don't know if it was just the songs or something, but I actually started crying. Because I realized how much I'm gonna miss London. You know, over the past couple of weeks, it's been really stressful with my professors throwing homework at us and trying to finish class and everything. And then, you know, with going to Germany over Easter weekend, that was a little stressful too. So I really haven't had time to think about how much I'm gonna miss London. And so today was that day where I just suddenly realized that. And so I actually started crying when I was at the riverfront. So yeah, I guess I'm really gonna miss London. After that, it was around like 4 o'clock and I was getting hungry, so I went to one of my favorite pizza places, Franco Manca, to have my last favorite pizza. Then after that, I went home because I really needed to start packing, so that's what I did. And then tonight, my host mom decided to make dinner for us. Unfortunately, my host dad was actually out doing something, but he came in the middle of dinner. So my host mom made us a really nice dinner. Well, actually, she made me pizza, So I had pizza twice today, which was definitely okay. Actually, before she made dinner, my host mom is really big into TV shows. She watches a lot of TV shows. And so she's been wanting Morgan and I to watch a TV show with her. That's what we did tonight. So we watched one of her TV shows with her, and we watched MasterChef, which is a cooking competition show. So that's what we did today. And then we had dinner, and dinner actually wasn't served until like 9 o'clock. So we had a late dinner tonight, but it was really nice because we were relaxing and we were talking and stuff. So it was a nice dinner. And then we really didn't end dinner until about 10:30. So then I went back upstairs and I started packing some more, and it's actually about like 1:30 right now, 1:30 in the morning. Yep, 1:32 in the morning right now. And I just finished FaceTiming my parents because I just wanted to know what was gonna happen for tomorrow when I get off the plane. And that's it of today, and that's it of day 85. Hey guys, so it's like, what, 10:15 on Friday morning, and we just brought all our stuff downstairs and we're almost ready to leave the house. And it's really sad because I asked the question, are we ready? And I answered, physically yes, emotionally no. Hey guys, so we're at the airport now, and our gate isn't shown until like 1:40, which is in about 15 minutes. We've kind of been sitting here for about half an hour, I guess. We had something to eat before, and yeah, our flight doesn't leave till about 2:50, so we're just chilling here. Sad to leave London, but in a way happy to go home. Just boarded the flight. Goodbye, London. So it's Friday, and today was my absolute last day in London, and as you can see, I'm in a completely different background, and I'm back at my house. So I got home safe and sound, but I should probably tell you what all happened today first. This morning I was back in London. I actually woke up at 7:30 this morning, and I don't know why I woke up that early. I mean, I had my alarm set for 8, but surprisingly woke up at around like 7:30. So our flight left at 2:50 today, but since it was an international flight, they always advise you to be at the airport a couple of hours in advance. So we wanted to be at the airport by around like 11:30. We decided to leave the house at around 10, which means we kind of had to wake up a little earlier so that we could get ready and then finish getting packing. AIFS had actually told us that we had to find our own way to the airport. So they didn't provide us any transportation to getting back to the airport, which is not the greatest thing in the world, but we managed. And since we knew the Piccadilly line took us to Heathrow, Morgan and I have both taken it before, we decided just to use that. We normally take a bus to get from our host house to the train station in order for us to get on the train. Obviously we had all of our luggage with us, and we didn't want to try to bring it on a bus and then take it into the train station, so our host dad gratefully drove us to the train station so we could get on. Then we took the Piccadilly line all the way to Heathrow. We actually left the house around like 10:15, so we technically didn't get to Heathrow until around 11:45 noon, which was okay. It didn't really set us back too much at all. So we got through security, that was all good to go. Then we kind of had some breakfast, lunch, brunch, whatever you want to call it. So we boarded our flight around 2, and then we left at around 2:50, so it was on time and everything, and my flight was great. if you're interested in knowing what I did on the flight. Since I had my laptop with me, I organized all of my videos and pictures from the past couple of weeks because I haven't done that yet. I have a system on my laptop where I've been putting all of these videos and all my pictures into different folders so that it's easier for me to edit them together, and that takes quite a lot of time, so I was able to do that. I watched a movie. I watched episode 5 of Star Wars. I was actually feeling kind of tired while I was watching Star Wars, so after the movie I decided to try to sleep, even though I can never sleep on airplanes. So I tried to sleep and I woke up about an hour later, and then once I woke up I decided to start editing my videos. I've been behind over the past couple of weeks. I was actually editing week 10, even though we're already on week 12. So I was pretty much editing that until I had to put my laptop away because we were landing. We landed at around 5 o'clock Chicago time. So yeah, I landed into Chicago. So then by the time we got through security and passport checks and everything, it was about 6 o'clock and my parents were already waiting on the other side of the door. It was really sweet, so I got to hug both of them right away. And then we pretty much left right away after that. So I got home around 9 o'clock, but I was starting to fall asleep while I was in the car ride home. It's 10 o'clock right now, and I feel like I'm just gonna completely pass out soon. So that's it of today, and that's it of day 85. And I think I said day 85 for yesterday's video, even though it was technically day 84. Today is day 85. This is also it of week 12, and this is also the end of my entire London diaries.